So we have been studying the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. The narrator being a 15-year-old boy, Christopher Boone, with autism spectrum disorder. And I think it's important that we start to look at the text, but we also see how this applies to the real world and apply this to the situations and the individuals in our society that have autism spectrum disorder and start to see those connections. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to pass out, if you could take one and pass it on. What I want you to do, we have done some background research, we've taken some notes. What I want you to do is try and access some of that knowledge we talked about last week, and I want you, with a partner, I want you to write down, you can write at the bottom of this graphic organizer, I want you to write everything that you know about autism spectrum disorder with your partner. What do you know so far? I want you to write that down, discuss with a partner, take about a minute to do that.
Yes. So, theory of mind is supposed to be missing. That's the most interesting part of this. Do you remember I wrote about this?
Yeah, on the other side. Two sides, so there's some room there.
The mother of two boys with autism knew that her third son did not have autism when he came up to tell her that he had dropped his stuffed animal in a well that he couldn't reach. She knew that he didn't have it because he knew she didn't know where the toy was. It was theory of mind. The two with autism believe that everything is a shared experience.
I've read recently that I think
Yeah.
So,
So
I
it's
hear a
something
lot of
that
good
exists
conversations, and I wish I could allow those to continue. But I do want to see, what do we know as a class right now about autism spectrum disorder? So, someone want to share one thing you came up with a partner? Let's go with Joan.
Students who are learning with autism spectrum disorder often have a difficult time understanding and interpreting the emotions of others around them.
Good, okay, so emotions. Good. Alrighty. Someone else? Anything else? What else did we come up with? Yeah.
Theory of mind is missing.
Theory of mind, you want to expand on that?
Sure. They believe that what
They're experiencing in their minds is a shared experience. They don't know that your thoughts are separate.
Good. Alrighty, share experience. What about some of the basics? Do we know anything about the basics? Yeah.
Often distracted or overwhelmed by stimulus. Sometimes that's like sounds, noises that maybe the teacher won't even hear, or when there's a lack of stimulus trying to stim themselves,
Okay.
Especially younger students with a lot of hand flapping, things like that.
Good. Good. Alright, two more. Anything else we want to add to this list? It's a good list so far. Really good. Yeah. Mark.
Social difficulties.
Good. Okay, social difficulties. Do you have anything more on social difficulties? What type of difficulties?
Because based on some of the other things we have up here,
Yeah.
not recognizing other people's emotions, a lot of misunderstandings on both sides.
Good, good. Misunderstandings. Okay, so a lot of physical, but also communication can be difficult.
Yes.
Good. Alrighty. So this is a really good list, and it shows that we have a basic understanding of autism spectrum disorder. What I want you to do is right next to that list. I know there's not a ton of room there, or on the back side there. I know there's not a ton of room. I'd like you to write down this learning target. Student can identify autism spectrum disorder stereotypes and expectations and cite textual evidence to support analysis. I'd like you to write that down somewhere on that sheet. I know there's not a ton of room. Before we move on, I think it's important to really look at this learning target and figure out, what does this mean? What are we trying to do today? And what is our end goal? So, does someone want to help me with the word identify? What does that mean to you? It's a synonym. Say that one more time.
Find or recognize.
Find or recognize. Good. Okay. So student can find autism spectrum or recognize autism spectrum disorder stereotypes and expectations. Great. We have spent a lot of time in this class working on the skill of being able to cite textual evidence, okay? So we're going to, what's an example, how could we cite textual evidence? I'm going to pass out these informational texts. What does it mean to cite the textual evidence?
Give quotes.
Give quotes, okay? We've talked about the strongest way to support a claim is to grab a specific quotation or excerpt from the text. So I want us to work on that today when I hand out those informational texts. And then evidence to support analysis. So this idea of being able to analyze. Any ideas on what does that mean? What does it look like to analyze?
Find deeper meaning.
Find deeper meaning, good. Okay. Find deeper meaning. Anything else that we could think of in terms of analyze?
Critically think about.
Critically think about the other keyword I'm thinking, just break down. Okay, look at specific aspects. So, that is our goal for today. I want you also, just so we know, what the heck are stereotypes and expectations? It's something we've worked on, but what are stereotypes and expectations? So, stereotypes, a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. Okay, if you will recognize these lovely images from American-Born Chinese. I know we read this a long time ago, but the character Chinky and all of the stereotypes that he possessed and how the author really emphasized those stereotypes. And then also the absolute true diary of a part-time Indian, and also looking at these stereotypes of what does it look like to be white or Native American. Okay? So we have that understanding, and then I added expectations. And I think it's important to look at expectations as well with autism spectrum disorder. So once again, going back to the absolute true diary of a part-time Indian, looking at Junior and his expectations to either be able to succeed if he leaves the reservation, or the expectation of inevitable failure if he stays. Okay, so the expectation is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future, a belief that someone will or should not achieve something. Okay, so now we have that language. Okay, we have expectations and stereotypes. What we're going to work on today is I'm going to pass out 4 different informational texts. You want to tell me what an informational text is? How do we identify an informational text?
It's not a story. Sorry.
It's not a story, good.
It's true facts.
Good, it's true facts, it's nonfiction, okay? So we're looking, it's nonfiction, and I selected these 4 articles because I think that they give us different perspectives of autism spectrum disorder, and you look at it from different angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass out these informational texts, and you're actually going to read, you're going to get, I'm going to put you in groups of, I think it works out, 4, 3, 4. 4 and 3. Put you in groups of 3s and 4s, and you are going to read one of these articles, and you're going to start working your way through this graphic organizer, okay? So, for example, question 1, who is this article talking about? What do you believe is the main claim this article is making about ASD? Quick word check, claim. What makes a strong claim? We've talked about a lot in this class. What are some components of a strong claim?
Lots of evidence.
Evidence, good. A couple more, it's arguable, okay? A claim is arguable, and then the last thing, and I know this is something we continue to work on, a claim needs to be specific, okay? So MTV is the worst. Why is MTV the worst? Well, MTV is the worst because they don't have music videos anymore, obviously. So that's specific. You're telling me why MTV is the worst, okay? So I want you to work on that with your claim. Don't worry about writing cohesive sentences. I want you to have bullet points to really focus on the information rather than sentence structure and some of the grammar things that we focus on in this class. It's okay, just use bullet points. I really want you to focus on the information. Okay, so I am going to pass out the informational text, and you are going, it's kind of tough. We have 4 different ones. So, there you go. There's one. There's number 3. This has never been my,
Thank you.
never been good at this. Let me passing stuff out.
That's a resume hard.
It is. Sam, you want to be part of this group as well. And let's get. So once I've passed out the informational text, I'd like you to start reading it with your group. Each member of your group is going to have a different text. And then, Megan, Sasha, you're on this group. Sam, do you get one? I think I printed off enough, but I can't even guarantee you.
Everybody's supposed to have one.
Yep, everyone should have
So
one.
this is the article analysis?
Yes, this is.
Oh, you all have 3 different texts?
You should all
Okay.
all people in your group should have a different article. Okay, and you're gonna work your way through that graphic organizer, filling out those questions. Thank you.
About 4 minutes.
Based on time, try and just fill in if you can, just one of those boxes, okay? See if you can just fill in one of those boxes. I know I'm not giving you enough time to do the entire activity.
That one is
These assets.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Because I know you guys are really speedy readers and comprehend this entire article. What I'd like you to do is share with your group members, okay? Share maybe that one box that you were able to fill in during that time. And what I want you to do is you're listening to your classmates share. I want you to listen to some of those similarities and differences between the article that you read and the article that your classmate read. Alrighty, so go ahead, start discussing, and as your partner or classmate is explaining their article, what I'd like you to do is actually fill in the box for that article, okay? So you're listening and you're also filling in as they present. Alrighty, go ahead and talk.
I read some of this. School bullies prey on children with autism. It's on the back.
Okay.
So pretty much students with ASD are getting bullied more than others. And it tends to be the students who have the highest chance of functioning independently.
Okay, so I got the first box of the names about non-British.
Is that just because they're more likely to be in the mainstream population?
I haven't gotten there yet, but just from experience, I wondered if it's more because students who there's students who I think bullies don't have to feel as bad picking on a student with autism who's pretty high functioning, whereas if a student is nonverbal, it's obvious that you're not supposed to pick on that kid.
Right.
Just the kids I work with.
Your expectations might be higher or a higher functioning ASD.
Maybe.
ASD.
But I didn't get to expectations or stereotypes yet. It's mostly talking with doctors and
So mine is a school district that takes the isolation out of autism. Primarily it's about a young man, 17 years old, named Garner Moss. He's from Tennessee, but his family moved to Madison, Wisconsin to get into their public school system because they have a reputation for inclusion. And that's how I got so far. I'm a slow reader.
me too.
Well, I had the article that was
would be seen.
hard to recognize because the cover, it was covered, but it's this one, autism seen as an asset, not a liability in some jobs, and it's really interesting. It starts with a profile of, a employee at Wrigley who's a computer